Hi everyone, I'm Cinderay9 and welcome to the introduction video for the second Viewer's Choice Let's Play. So I looked over some of the comments of the first one and I always listen to your suggestions or things that you talk about in the comments to try to improve and always get better. It's something that I pride myself on this channel, that I'm always trying to get better. One of the biggest things that I saw was that people didn't like that there wasn't a theme that went around it. It just seemed kind of random. So you were okay with it, but some of you wanted there to be a theme of some sort, which I can understand. The other thing that I saw a lot of was some of you were not able to vote, and for that I deeply apologize. I haven't found a better way to do this. I'm still going with straw poll. The link to the voting will be in the description. It's something that I wish I had a better way of doing it, but I know some people don't comment but want to vote. That's why I just don't want to tally up comments. And eventually, when more and more people vote, which I hope there'll be even more votes this time, that I couldn't do it in a timely manner if it was just all comments. That's something we'll continuously work on. I'll try to find a better way to do it. If you weren't able to vote, I apologize. There's something that I'm personally going to ask for this one before we get to the games that you'll have to choose from. And that is to, even if none of the games interest you, please vote just the one that you would most like to see me Let's Play, even if none of them really spark your interest. And the reason for that is I would like to see just how many people rally behind this idea of giving you all a chance to choose one of the Let's Plays. I think it's a really cool idea. I'm glad to do it for all of you, but I'd love to see the participation. So choose a game, the one that you would most like to see, again, even if none of them really interest you. The other thing I ask is, if you are not able to vote, because there's an error or something, I don't know, if you're not able to vote, please let me know in the comments. That way I can get a feel of how many people would have voted. It would help me out a lot. Just because I want to see just how much participation there is for this idea. With all of that being said, without further ado, let's go to the theme for the second Viewer's Choice. And the theme is Sequel Showdown. The 4 games I have chosen for you to pick from are all sequels to Let's Plays that I've done. I think this will make it very interesting. So, if you would like to get a feeling of how the games are going to play, now they'll all have different additions from their prequels, of course, but the gameplay is pretty much the same for all of them, from what I know anyway. I think that'll make it very interesting, because there are sequels that I've been told about when I Let's Play a game, people would like for me to do them. Well, here's your chance to choose one. I honestly would like to do all of these eventually, but I found myself never getting around to them, so it could be a long time before I do. Except for the one that's voted on. That'll be the next one that I do, so your vote and your choice matters. I'm gonna do these in alphabetical order. I'm gonna put links in the description to all 4 of these, to my Let's Plays, so you can get a feeling of how the game is and what you can expect. I'll also talk just briefly about them. Again, I'm just gonna do these in alphabetical order. The first one is Bioshock 2, the sequel to the very heavily critically acclaimed Bioshock. We will be returning to Rapture with a new character, and it's an interesting game because they do add some new things, some different plasmids, some of the old favorites return. The gameplay's pretty similar, but it has a new story, and in some ways it improves on the first Bioshock. Found myself lacking in certain parts of the first Bioshock. I felt there were times where I got way too focused on the combat because it's a first-person shooter, so everything's going in real time, and I would find myself not keeping up with the commentary. I can recognize my own weaknesses and mistakes. I would be doing my best to try to fix that. In that same vein, the next game is Dead Space 2. While not a first-person shooter, it's still a shooter, although a bit more slow-paced. Dead Space 2 takes off from the end of the first Dead Space, as we find out the fate of Isaac Clarke, and also we continue that journey with returning favorite weapons and new weapons to try out as well. New enemies and new threats, and of course, plenty of chances for death. Because that's how Dead Space is. I will also be playing that game on hard, which I've never done. I've always played it on normal. The same way I did the first Dead Space. It will definitely be a challenging Let's Play, and one that I think you would enjoy if you want to see me struggle a little bit. I know Dead Space 2 really well. I also know Bioshock 2 really well as well, so they wouldn't be blind by any stretch of the imagination. I know both games very well. But I will up the difficulty and try out different things to make it new for me and exciting for all of you, whether you know the game or not. In a complete contrast to those two games, the next one would be a blind Let's Play, and that's for Jade Cocoon 2. I played the first Jade Cocoon, thanks to my good friend Fade Dragon Tier. He suggested it, and I ended up Let's Playing it, and it was a pretty good game. There were parts I really didn't understand, because that's a blind playthrough as well, the first one that I Let's Played. But all in all, I did enjoy it, and it was fun. I struggled at some points, but all in all, I thought it was a pretty good Let's Play. I've been told, again with my good friend, Fade Dragon Tier, that this one is even better. And a lot of you in the comments, I remember from way back when that Let's Play happened, have said the same thing, that the second one is way better than the first one. The second one, if it's chosen, would be a completely blind playthrough. I look forward to playing that one if it's chosen. I look forward to playing all of these, honestly. I like them all. I know 3 of them, and this one, Jade Cocoon, I don't know, but I still look forward to it. I think it'd be a fun journey to see why everyone likes this one so much more than the first Jade Cocoon. Last but not least, well, you can make it least if you don't vote for it, but the last choice is Lunar 2 Eternal Blue. This is the sequel to Lunar Silver Star Story, one of my favorite RPGs of all time. It's got a different storyline, different characters. It's still a really strong RPG. I prefer the first Lunar, just because I love Alex and Luna, the whole relationship there. Lunar 2 has something like it, though, and all in all, it's a really solid RPG with different characters. It's got the same feeling as Lunar's Silver Star Story, and it still has that same turn-based, but your characters move mechanic. I don't want to go into too much detail for these games, because I don't want to spoil anything. But if you want a taste of what these games will be like, at least gameplay-wise, the story will be different for all of them, of course. If you want a taste of how the game will play gameplay-wise, check out my Let's Plays for the first one's Bioshock, Dead Space, Jade Cocoon, and Lunar Silver Star Story. Those links will be in the comments. Again, even if none of these interest you, please vote on one that would interest you the most, that you would like to give a chance just because I'm Let's Playing it. Please, do this for me. I really want to see what kind of support I can rally for this idea, because I think it's somewhat unique in these days on YouTube to have something like this. I'm excited to do this as a Let's Player, and I hope all of you are excited for this opportunity as well. The other thing, well, 2 more things. One, if you can't vote, again, please leave a comment and let me know that you tried to vote, but it didn't work. That way I can, again, get a feel of how many votes there would have been. 2, and this is something I saw when I started the first game that was chosen, Scribblenauts. Some people didn't get on board, and I was sad for that, because the game wasn't chosen or the game didn't appeal to them. I just ask you that you give it a chance if you like me as the Let's Player. I try to make every game fun and exciting and have a lot of laughs, whether you're new to the game or a veteran of the game. I always try to make the game friendly to everybody, veterans and new players alike. I always try to do that. If it's a genre that doesn't really interest you, take the trip with me. I'll try to show some different aspects of it, and maybe I can have you see it in a new light. I know there are a few genres that I really don't like. I understand that. Horror being one for me. I can't take it. It's just too much for me. I don't do horror games. But I would still try to support a Let's Player that I really liked. And I have. There's a few that I really like to watch that have done some horror games, and I've watched a few of them. And it was nerve-wracking for me. But it was because that Let's Player was doing it. It was fun to take the journey with him because I like his style, I like his commentary. He showed me some different ways to look at it, and hopefully I can provide that same type of experience. I will do my best. As always, I try to make the games fun for all of you. If I don't, then I'm not doing what I love to do as a Let's Player. So I'll try my best no matter what game is picked. I promise you that. All of these really excite me, and whichever one is picked, we're going to have a fantastic adventure. So, link to the straw poll is in the description. If you've never used straw poll, check the first viewer's choice. I still have that video up, I believe, that way because of the instruction part at the beginning. So, feel free to check that one out if you don't understand straw poll. It's very simple, but there's a few things I wanted to point out about it. So if you didn't participate in the first viewer's choice, please check that one out. And then click the link to this straw poll. Vote on which game you would like to see me Let's Play next in this sequel showdown. I will leave this up until Monday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 12 p.m. Pacific. On Monday, that is when it will close. So that is the, let me pull up my calendar here. That is the 19th. So it'll be open from now until the 19th. And the LP will start on the 21st. Those are the deadlines. No matter what, let's have a lot of fun. Until then, or whatever journey, whatever video you watch next, I'm Cinder89. Remember to shoot for the stars and take care, everyone.